Well, we are so glad that you're home, and we want to hear your stories. We want to hear the God stories. We want to hear what God has been doing in Haiti. And as we hear from the members of the team today, we want to remember to pray for the folks of Haiti. We remember to pray for Robert and Cindy, who are still there. And there's a lot of work to be done, and we'll be talking about that. But I'd like to ask for the folks to please come on up. We just like to have a moment to kind of hear what God has been doing. So would you please come? Thank you so much for being here. Jim Dugan, Patty Chen. Why don't you move down a little bit? Well, we're really glad that you're here today. As I mentioned earlier, that Robert Taylor, who's a part of the team, is still in Haiti. He chose to stay on, and he was able to do that. So we want to continue to pray for Robert. Brian Neff, who's also a part of this team, he attends Terra Nova Church, and so he's there telling his story this morning. So we're grateful for that God is kind of spreading the news out here throughout the Orange County area. And then Heather Taylor is at Grace Community Church this morning, talking with her church family. So we're grateful that they're able to do that as well as our folks here today. Just to bring us up to speed a little bit before I really want to give them just an opportunity to share, and we're going to have them kind of interact here with all of us. About 5.5 years ago, we had a gentleman here who was helping to lead our music program, and his name is Bill Manacero. His wife Suzette came to our church and helped us just in our music and worship every Sunday morning. His daughter Ariana felt just called of God. She was I believe about 14 years old at the time. She said, "Dad, you know what? We need to go to Haiti and help the orphans." And so they went and took kind of a short-term missions trip there for a couple of weeks. Well, when they came back, I remember Bill came to some of those in leadership at that time, and he said, we really feel like God has called us to go to Haiti. And, well, our response to that was, well, yeah, you've already been there. You mean go back? He goes, no, I mean to live there. And we just feel like we're supposed to sell everything and take an orphanage there of children who are on the streets and just love them and give them the good news of Jesus Christ. And so God just kind of joined our hearts. If you know Bill and Suzette, they're just big heart people. They just love people. And so we just felt like God was very, very quickly calling us to take them on as part of our missions organizations that we support every month financially. So we were doing that for a couple of years. And then Jim Dugan at a men's retreat had pictures of the kids in Haiti at the orphanage. And God was just beginning to stir something up where he just put something in Jim's heart that, it's more than just sending money every month to the kids. I mean, they need that so that we can give them, clothing and shelter and food and all those necessities of life. But it's going down with our hearts. And so Jim said, we got to take a team down there, and we got to go love those kids and just give them Jesus and help the orphanage. And whatever we can do to help, we just want to go. So a small band of folks went on that first missions trip in Haiti for about 10 days. And about every 6 months now, they've been going to Haiti and in Port-au-Prince, where there's the orphanage. And I got to just share with you, just from our end, it is such a blessing to be able to partner, not just sending the checks, but joining with our hearts. Amen? And I'm just so grateful that we have opportunity to go and be the hands and feet of Jesus like this every 6 months down in Haiti. So, Jim, maybe you could share with us just briefly, tell us a little bit about the orphanage and how it's constructed there, and what could we expect if we were all to go down to Haiti? What would we see there? What would we experience?
Well, anybody that's around me very often knows you're not with me for more than a few minutes without hearing about Haiti. And the missions as a whole that we're able to serve here at MVCC. The orphanage at Haiti is now grown to being approximately 50 children, a boys' home, a girls' home, that are basic, to give you a little bit of a layout. It's a boys' home, a girls' home. They also run a clinic 3 days a week plus to the community. There's a full-time nurse there, and God blessed us with a second nurse being there as an intern that she arrived about a week before the earthquake hit. The Manaceros and their family are there. There are approximately 35 employees now, both locals and people from the U.S. that are there. And so it's become supporting a lot of the community in a lot of ways beyond just the 50 children that are inside the home. The kids are incredible, and we can talk some more about that in a minute, and how on fire for God they are and how they go out and serve now. Our primary purpose the last 2 trips that we've gone down have been to help our teenagers, and anytime we say we and our and we did or whatever, we're talking about the whole ministry, by the way, today. It's not we set up a clinic or anything like that. It's this clinic was set up by God, and we just happen to be the pinky finger on the hand that made that happen. The children now, the teenagers in that home who were on the street begging themselves just a few years ago, are now doing a feeding program 3 days a week that feeds approximately 100 children in the neighborhood 3 times a week. And that's the primary meal that most of those kids receive. Is in addition to the meal, they're given the gospel, they sing, they're learning about the Lord. They get a chance to play in a safe environment, the way that the home's set up. Logistically, so that maybe it'll help with some of the things we say today, let me give you a little bit of a word picture of how it's laid out. We are on in an area called Delmas 75, and I always pronounce it wrong because it has something to do with French. But all the words. It is a fairly upper middle class neighborhood for Haiti. The homes are, and a lot of the homes are not that much different than what you'd see around our neighborhoods here. It's also then filled in that same neighborhoods is an area, for example, called the Ravine that is a shanty town. It's tarps and whatever wood they could get to make a shelter. And then other small places where maybe multiple families have taken over an empty house and living there together, dirt floors, things like that all still. Almost everything is made with cinder block. All the roofs, if you haven't seen it on the news, all the roofs are cement. It's an area that's designed for hurricanes and for, the construction's designed for hurricanes and for enduring the moisture and the rot that happens. Wood just rots out. The homes are set up so that there is a girls' and a boys' home. That's dirt roads, by the way, in the area we're at. We're 10 miles outside of the downtown Port-au-Prince, and about 10 miles from the airport to ballpark it. It's major roads around us, but then into the neighborhoods, it's dirt roads, about a little bit wider than a single lane. The girls' home and the guest home, where any of the visitors like us stay, are next to each other. There's a central guard shack. All of the homes are surrounded by approximately 8-foot-tall walls with barbed wire glass, that kind of thing. There's a guard shack that's there, and that is in the wall that separates those 2 homes. Then across the street and over about 40 yards is the boys' home, and 40 yards or so being from gate to gate. Coming back towards the girls' and boys' home, if you were to look straight across the street, is a giant, used to be a tennis court, used to be a sports facility for people in the community to use. It's a cement tennis court, a little bit raised up about 2 foot or so, basketball court, volleyball court. There's an area there that had stands above it and like a concession stand looking thing underneath it. That's been turned into the kitchen for the feeding program. That's where we do have the feeding program. That's where the kids get a chance to play in a safe environment. Of course, the tennis court now is a football soccer field. And don't ever try to go down there and pretend you're a soccer player because you're going to get your tail run off.
Cool.
Much less some of the other sports. They're great kids. So that's the okay, and then the Manaceros live about a long block away in another home, similar construction.
Great. So that kind of gives us an idea of what it looks like and what the surrounding areas are like. When we received word here on our end that the earthquake had hit, within 2 hours, we had a prayer meeting here for you and for the people of Haiti and for the Manaceros.